Hello, and welcome to a video where I'm going to be going through a selection of records from my record collection and showing them to you. So originally I was thinking of showing every single thing that's in my collection as kind of a catch-all, here's everything all at once. But unfortunately, nobody has that much time. So some of the things I'm going to show in this video are like my top favorites, absolute top albums of all time. And some of them are just like, I think this is cool to have, but it's not like I wouldn't put it on my best of list. But I do think that everything I'm going to show is like worth listening to, obviously, because I own it. So if there's anything in here, it's basically like I recommend this. So I got into collecting records in 2020, like I think a lot of people did. But the first record that I ever got was in 2019, and it was this, Tommy Guerrero's Dub Tunes. I'm a big Ed Banger Records fan, and I have a lot of their releases. And I heard this was coming out. I saw the teaser videos. I thought it sounded really cool. But it wasn't coming to streaming, and I was like, the only possible way I can listen to it is if I get the record, which I did, and I'm glad I did because it's really good. So really, to start things off, we have Daniel Avery's Song for Alpha, which is one of my absolute favorite albums of all time. I think this is like top 3, 2, or 1 sometimes favorite album of all time. It's pretty much the best example of ambient techno I've ever heard. I think it is a masterpiece, honestly. I think beginning to end there is nothing that's worth skipping. It is 100% perfect in every way, and you should listen to it. By the way, there's really going to be no order to the things I'm showing here, except for the first one, because that was the first record I ever got. But I just have a pile next to me of ones that I grabbed from my shelf, and I'm gonna hold them up as they are in the pile. Which leads me to the next thing, which is Aphex Twin's Cyro, his 2014 album after he was missing in action for 13 years. Aphex was missing, but his other aliases were doing things. This album is another one I would say is pretty much flawless. This thing has so many good songs. Mini Pops, Xmas Eve, Product, 180 Decibel, Circlant. Good stuff. Dreams by Cassius, the last Cassius album after the tragic death of Philip Zadar. Summer is a great opening track, Nothing About You. It's pretty much flawless. I'm not going to list out all the songs. All the songs in here I think are great. I think my favorite, however, is Calliope. That is a great track. The artwork is a bit of a various statuettes of things. Great. Machine Girl, Wolf Girl. It's a recent repress of it. I was able to get my hands on it. It's a pretty insane album, actually. Breakcore, not usually what I go for, but there's some really excellent stuff on here. Especially the I just hit the microphone. I apologize. Especially the bonus tracks. I think Wolf Girl, Acid, and Fantasy 13 are top-notch. XI by Autechre is a bit of a beast of an album. It's quite hefty. It is 2 hours spread across 4 different discs, plus the bonus Elevent EP to make like an hour and 20 minutes, or 2 hours, 20 minutes, something like that. Lots of excellent songs on here. My favorite has to be Rex On, but the final track, YJYUX, is also a top pick. Autechre are very good at their ambient outro songs, and this is probably their best one. Speaking of ambient, we have Bowery Electric's Beat. Now, leans more towards shoegaze, but it's a hell of a lot more ambient than like Wolf Girl or something. The opening track, Beat, is great. Postscript, the like 16-minute drone song. Come on, I want to talk about ambient. Come on. But yeah, Fear of Flying, great without stopping. Great record. Love the artwork. I want more things to do this like thin picture with strips of color on the top and bottom. I'm a fan of that layout of artwork. Which is why I also have Boards of Canada's Trans-Canada Highway EP. Probably my favorite EP of theirs. Skyliner, excellent, Under the Coke Sky and Left Side Drive. Heard from the Telegraph Lines. All flawless songs. Maybe their best sound. Debatable, arguable, not sure. But of all the different realms that they've encompassed or delved into, I think they did the best job with this. And I do have it on CD too. I got the Japanese CD because it's got that Invocation video, which is weird. But yeah, it's like my favorite EP, so I wanted to have every copy of it. And you know what, while we're in the realm, let's talk about Campfire Head Phase, the album of which Trans-Canada Highway is the companion to. This is their third album, of course, and it is my favorite. It is my favorite of theirs. I think it also has their best song ever, Oscar See-Through Red Eye. Yeah, let me just talk while you can't see my face. This is a great video. Yeah, also, I mean, of course, Dave and Cowboy, excellent song, which is a good opportunity for me to bring up that I have this DVD of the music video, which I was shocked to find out was like $20 on Discogs, and I was like, why are there any copies of this available? Let me buy it right now. But yeah, I have that. That's a nice thing to have. And speaking of CD releases, it's my favorite album. I had to have it twice because, I mean, Macquarie Ridge is another one of their best songs ever. I wanted to own it, and I do. By the way, if you can hear the sounds of a parrot in the background, I apologize. There's nothing I can do about it. More Daniel Avery. We have the album that came directly after Song for Alpha, Love Plus Light, and because he got greedy and wanted to put more songs on here than could fit on a singular LP, there was also the 10-inch, which had the 3 songs he had to take off, which I believe is called More Light, I think is what it's called. Yes. So those together complete the album. I think Darlin with 3 N's is the best song on the album. I love how the whole song builds up for the entirety of it. I think it's a really, really cool, I don't know, production. Golden Tracks by Shadow Dancer is an album that I loved back in like 2018, 2017 kind of, and then I somehow completely forgot it existed. This was like one of my favorite albums of all time for a solid year, and then it was wiped from my memory until like 6 months ago when I was like, oh my god, I forgot, how? This album, I think, is incredible. I think it is like the best Bloghouse album. If you like Bloghouse, this is it. It's all here. Gas Pop. The best ambient techno album ever made. It's like it wrote the book on it. This is all you need. Yeah. Pop 4. Incredible. Probably the best ambient techno song ever created. Next, we have Classics by The Aphex Twin. This is a compilation of all of his earliest EPs and whatnot. Didgeridoo, excellent. Polynomial C, excellent. Tampex, excellent. Analog Bubble Bath 1, excellent. Gorillaz Plastic Beach. Look at that match cut. Eat your heart out, Stanley Kubrick. Gorillaz Plastic Beach. Don't need to explain it very much. Who hasn't heard it? You know, little indie band Gorillaz, you probably never heard of them. They're pretty underground, like Tame Impala. I listen to Pink Floyd. Rhinestone Eyes, excellent. Broken, excellent. Cloud of Unknowing, Glitter Freeze. Gorillaz basically peaked. It's the best Gorillaz album. Yeah. Oh, and I also have the picture disc for Donkomatic, the lost song, the secret song, because it's great. Who doesn't love a little bit of Donkomatic? The Blade Runner movie soundtracks. I think the second movie is a little bit better, but you can't knock the original. Vangelis, whatever it is. You did a good job, and Hans Zimmer did a good job. It was inevitable I was going to show it. Justice Cross. It's like the most well-known electronic album of all time. That's a lie. I forgot Daft Punk existed. New Jack, my favorite Justice song. Valentine, excellent. 1 Minute to Midnight. That bass line is killer. Grow by Chon. Not a band I listen to too often, but I do really appreciate their sound. It's kind of instrumental math rock, but a couple of their songs do have some lyrics on it. It's really nice stuff to chill out to. And there's also quite a bit of technical stuff going on that you can pay attention to. But yeah, excellent album. The artwork is this beautiful, like, paint on some leaves, is what I think it is. I don't think it could be digital, but I think they just put some paint on some leaves and took a picture of it. Either way, it's cool. What do I even say about Blarf? I can't say it's good, but, like, I don't know. It's Blarf. I had to have it. Who could possibly pass up Blarf, right? I Worship Satan, the best 12 minutes and 40 seconds of your life will be held while listening to I Worship Satan. I mean, Badass Bullshit Benjamin Button's Butthole Assassin. It's an all-time classic. LCD Soundsystem's 4533, a 46-minute song spread across 2 times LP. It's one of the coolest things the band has ever done. This is like such an awesome song, listening experience, album, whatever you want to call it. I was shocked to find out that this even has a vinyl pressing. I saw this in a record store, and I have never bought something so quickly. I was like, oh my god, this exists. This is like my favorite thing they've ever done. Yeah. Highly recommend listening to it. It's a lot of fun. So continuing on with 4533, I have the All My Friends single, which on the B-side has Freak Out / Starry Eyes, which is my favorite LCD Soundsystem song. However, the digital release of 4533 has Freak Out / Starry Eyes, and it has a couple other songs. And when I bought the record 4533, I wondered if those were going to be on it, because there's no listed track list on it. So when I got home, I had no idea if these songs were going to be on it, and then they weren't, and I was like, well, I need them. So I found a release that has Freak Out / Starry Eyes, and I was like, great. But then I was like, well, I want the other songs. And then I found this 7-inch. Ooh, don't drop that. This 7-inch for North American Scum. Great song, but it has Hippie Priest Bum Out, which is the other song that is released digitally with 4533, and I was like, great, I have all the songs now. And then I found out that they did an EP called Confuse the Marketplace, ironically enough, which has all the other digital songs that are included with 4533. So I was like, well, I guess I'll get that too. So now I have like multiple copies of the songs for that release, but yeah. Confuse the Marketplace is an apt title. Chorustis by Autechre is probably my favorite Autechre album. It wavers a little bit, but this ranks very, very high. It didn't used to be my favorite. For a while, it was like pretty low in my list, but then I just one day it clicked, and I was like, this is like the greatest thing ever. I love how eclectic it is. I love how short the songs are, even though I'm usually a long song guy. Philip Glass, Glassworks. It's a orchestral album. I don't normally listen to classical music, but I heard this like in 2015 on a live stream. Someone was playing it, and I was like, this sounds so cool. And then I went and found it. And then years later, I was like, I bet there's a vinyl pressing for that. And there was, and I was very happy to find out that there was. Yeah, Philip Glass, Glassworks, really awesome. He loves arpeggios. If you like arpeggios, this still might be too many arpeggios for you. 60 Degrees, 43 Minutes Nord by Molecule is another one of my absolute all-time favorite albums of all time, all time. It's ambient techno again. I'm a bit of a fan. And it was composed entirely on a boat in the middle of the Atlantic, and that's cool. And the whole album is full of Foley recordings of the boat creaking around and ocean waves and stuff like that. Really, really cool mix. But really good combination of ambient techno, kind of minimal techno stuff, and like ocean music. Water noise. Red Vox's Realign, my favorite album from Red Vox. Great stuff on here. Why Can't This Be Easy? Reason This Is Happening. Be Someone Forever. Ozymandias, Far Away, Closer Now, Pale Blue Dot. Excellent. Excellent album through and through. I'm also a fan of the Waluigi that's hidden in the clouds there. I think that was a good design choice. Next we have a bit of a weird one. It is a Mr. Wuzzo disc. It is a promo version of his split single Stunt, and I guess you'd call it $1.44, I'm not sure. And I have the promo version because there's 3 more songs on it. The official release has 2, just Stunt and $1.44, but there's 3 more songs in the promo edition that are awesome. Pig, Tenust, if that's how you say it, and probably saying it wrong, but Lotus, Sweet Köln, I don't know. But those songs are excellent, and yeah, this was surprisingly cheap for me to get, so I picked it up. I have the Minecraft soundtracks by C418 on both vinyl and CD, because of course I do. But everybody knows about those. everybody's talked to death about those, so instead, I'm going to talk about Excursions, which is my favorite C418 album. And I do have it on CD as well, because I'm insane. But yeah, this album is incredible. It's another one of my all-time favorite albums ever. There's so many good songs on it, except the vinyl and the CD actually are kind of stunted, because they don't have all the songs. The digital has even more. But, I mean, you got the ones I can't remember the name of. Baton, Figure 8, Reagan, Excellent, Thunderbird. Just excellent all around. It's a good listen, like, sit through the whole thing. There's not a bad track. It all flows into each other. There's a lot of transitions. So, yeah, all in all, excellent, excellent album. And next, we have... Hold on a minute. There we go. Anyways, we have Mr. Wazzo's Rhythm Plot, one of his more recent EPs. This is my favorite release by Mr. Wazzo. Every song on here is great. The last song, Nuke, is probably his best song ever. Solid release, very solid release. Now, next we have several releases. This is almost everything that Basic Channel has ever made. I don't have absolutely everything, but I'm working on it. But yeah, I am a huge Basic Channel fan. I'm a big dub techno head. I was recommended dub techno like a year ago, and then it was over for me. I've just been slowly getting every single one. The labels are hard to differentiate, but I don't know. You just pick one, throw it on, and you're like, this is fantastic. What else would I do? They have many aliases. I have several of them. They're M series, their main Basic Channel stuff, some of their Quadrant stuff, Cyrus, and the rhythm and sound stuff. I have some of that. There's a lot, and I have a lot of it. I'm a big fan. I would recommend it if you like dub techno. Next we have Pac-Man by Power Pill. This is a ridiculous release by Aphex Twin, one of his earlier aliases, and he's only ever made this one thing with it, but I found out that it existed and I had to have it. So yeah, Pac-Man, Power Pill. The remixes are also quite good, but the original mix, gotta love it. Second Woman, Instant Apart, Instant/Apart, Instant and Apart, whatever you want to say. An EP for the Trezor label. Second Woman normally does kind of IDM stuff, experimental kind of things, but they also lean a little bit into the dub stuff, dub techno. You know, I'm a big fan. But this EP I think is the best thing they've done. It's absolutely great, especially the song Instant 2. I don't know how many times I've listened to that song in particular. Phenomenal, excellent song if you like dub techno. Lone, Levitate, excellent album through and through. Probably my favorite thing that Lone has done. Alpha Wheel, Vapor Trail, Triple Helix, Sleepwalkers, excellent stuff. Callie Malone's Living Torch is one of the best ambient/drone albums I've ever heard. It's like a 15-minute song and an 18-minute song, and that's it, and that's all you need. She has other stuff that I think is quite good, but it kind of falls a little bit into the too long territory. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect length. It's like gut-wrenching to listen to, but it's also amazing. It's some of the best ambient material I've ever heard. Now, this next thing is probably the coolest thing I own. Riga Take 5 by Thomas Bangalter, which was originally part of the Riga Take 1 soundtrack. But for some reason, someone was selling just this, and was selling it for far cheaper than the whole collection, which was several $100s. This was like $50, which was pricey, but considerably cheaper than the whole thing. So yeah, I scooped this up as soon as I saw it. 15-minute long song by Thomas Bangalter. How is that going to be a miss? This is one of the coolest things he's ever made, one of the coolest things I own. Autechre's EP Garbage, which is the companion to Amber, which one of my favorite albums of theirs, but we're going to be talking about Garbage. 4 tracks. For some reason, they always split their EPs into 2 things, which is really dumb because most of them would fit on one disc, but for some reason, they put it all on this, so it's 40 minutes. So happy. If they split it, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but anyways, Garbage mix, PIOB mix, Broncha 7 mix, and Vletter mix. Cool pronunciations. They're not meant to be pronounced out loud. It's probably the first time I've ever said any of those out loud. Yeah, Garbage Mix is one of the best songs they've ever made. PYOB and Brancha 7 are pretty good. They lean more into the weird and more ambient kind of stuff. Really good. But Vletter Mix, man oh man, I said before, they're really good at ambient closing songs, and that's probably the best one they've ever made. It is a soul-crushing experience to listen to. It is an overwhelming amount of emotion, but it's brilliant. Perfect EP, perfect release from them. Next we have Tame Impala's The Slow Rush, which is my favorite Tame Impala album. And I also have the 7-inch release of Patience, which is his best song ever, and I will never forgive him for not putting it on this album. But anyways, the album itself, very good. Borderline, Breathe Deeper, On Track, Tomorrow's Dust, Lost in Time, Is It True? It Might Be Time, Glimmer One More Hour. Every song on here is perfect. Big fan. Good album. We have just... Wow, you can't read that. I promise it says Woman Worldwide on it. It is the live album to Woman, released in 2016. This was 2018, though. It is the second best album of theirs, if not the best. I know it might be heresy to say that it's better than Cross, but I think if I really thought about it, Cross is better, but a lot of times I have more fun listening to Woman Worldwide. Really, really well done, except for the mixing on all of the Cross songs. Sounds like it was done with a blender. Other than that, the actual remixing and mash-upping of the songs is excellent. Very well done. It's like the Definitive Justice experience. Next, we've got a classic, of course. It's like the most well-known electronic album ever. Selected Ambient Works 8592 by Aphex Twin, his debut LP. You got Crystal, you got The, which is probably my favorite Aphex song. Aegis Polis, Green Calx, excellent. We Are the Music Makers, Actium, another absolute favorite of mine. Wonderful, wonderful album, of course. I needn't say more. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. It's pretty good. My camera appears to be running out of storage capacity, so we have to move quick. We have another Mr. Wazo EP. It's Hand in the Fire, featuring Charlie XCX, if that's how it's pronounced. Hand in the Fire, excellent. The instrumental edition, you don't need it. The lyrics are excellent. Being Flat and A Record are like some of his most fun songs he's ever made. It's great. The single version of this song is far better than the album version. I don't know what the hell that album version is. It's awful, but this is great. Next, we have LCD Soundsystem's Sound of Silver, my favorite album of theirs. I think it's like perfect. You got Get Innocuous, Time to Get Away, North American Scum, Someone Great, All My Friends, Us v Them, Watch the Tape, Sound of Silver, New York I Love You But You're Bringing Me Down. Every song is flawless. It's wonderful. It's such a good listen. It's so much fun. And yeah, I would say it's perfect. It's a perfect album. We have Clark's Body Riddle and the recently released 0510 compilation, which that is very yellow. What the hell was that? This is basically Body Riddle, like, Volume 2, so you can consider them like one album. It's like the B-sides and the extra stuff for this album. Herbar, Herzog, Ted, other songs that I really don't pay attention to the titles to, but they're all great. And then on this one, Dead Shark Eyes, Boiler the Wick is awesome. Herbar Improv, Dusk Swells, Autumn Lynn. Very, very good stuff, these two albums. I recommend listening to them. It's the best Clark. It's the most well-known Clark for a reason. Yeah, Body Riddle, Body Double, both of these together. Here's a bit of a big one. We have a big boy here. This is the Hyper Light Drifter soundtrack, and it's got like this magnet clasp to open up and reveal the tracks. It's the soundtrack to the game Hyper Light Drifter, which the game is pretty good. The soundtrack is phenomenal. This is one of my favorite ambient releases ever. The album is like 2 hours long. It's over 2 hours, something like that. But yeah, absolutely flawless stuff. I love it. It's by Disaster Piece. I didn't say that earlier. But yeah, there's a run of songs on here I think is excellent. Petrichor, The Gauntlet, The Sentience, The Abyss. Those songs there, especially The Gauntlet, which is like 15 minutes long or something like that. Love that one. But yeah, the whole collection is in this cool giant box. I was lucky to get it. This is the second pressing. Yes, very excellent. High recommendation on there. It's very mysterious kind of electronic stuff with a bit of piano in it. Very good. Here's another kind of gem of my collection. This is the London 14-19-2019 EP, also known as Orphans by Aphex Twin. I did not get this at the show. Like last year, he did some sale on his website where he sold a few extra copies of this, and I was able to get it. Very, very lucky. This release is awesome. You have the Staircase song. There's no track list on here. I'm bad at remembering song titles. Nightmail, Sound Lab 20, I think it is. Sound Lab 20 is one of his best songs. Really, really excellent. And the very last item I have to show today is Pool by Skee Mask. This is my favorite Skee Mask album. I have pretty much everything he's ever made physically, but this is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite. It's a 3x LP. It's absolutely flawless. It borders on being my favorite album of all time. CZ3000 dub, Navivo, if that's how you say it, Ozone, Collapse Casual, Dolan Tours, Cross Section, Harrison Ford, favorite song on the album, Pepper Boys, 60681Z. All good stuff. Non-stop heaters on this album, as the kids would say. Yes, Skee Mask is excellent. This album is excellent. I'm a big fan of music. I have several of them. And this was my video showing some of my favorite records that I own in my collection. I have more records. Maybe I'll do another video showing another selection of records eventually. But yes, as my camera dwindles out of storage capacity, I will use these last few seconds I have to say thank you for watching this video. As I said in the beginning, everything that I've shown here is stuff that I just love. So if anything, I guess, looked interesting, because you couldn't really hear it unless I put something in the background. Probably not, because copyright, but I recommend any of these things. And yes, I thank you for watching this video. And I will see you in the last one. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit here and see what happens in a couple seconds when we run out of